The Mark Sanchez era in New York should be over, and the numbers back that up. Hi, everybody. I'm Butch Stearns. He's Kerry Byrne of Cold Hard Football Facts. Look, as a couple of born and raised Patriots fans, we take great joy in beating up on the Jets and anything to do with New York.
You do. I take joy only in the stats, the data, the Cold Hard Football Facts. But the misery that has befallen this franchise is pretty comical. You got to admit.
So when we get past the back pages, when we get past the emotion of it all, let's look at the numbers with Mark Sanchez. And there's really no other conclusion. This era should be over in New York.
Well, you know, he's just not been. The bottom line is he's not been a great player, Butch. He's not put up the numbers you expect out of a #1 quarterback, let alone a #5 overall draft pick. Look at him in 2012. 12 TD, 13 INT, 71 passer rating. Over his career, the numbers this year are pretty much similar to his career numbers, Butch. And compared to what an elite quarterback should put up today, almost 70% completions, 3-to-1 touchdowns, interceptions. The great quarterbacks have, thrown 4 touchdowns for every interception, close to 8 yards per attempt, a 9,500 passer rating. Those are elite numbers in this day and age. He's not even average. He's well below average right now based on the standards of our time.
And let's talk about some other numbers, both with his bloodline and his career. He's been in the league for 4 years. Matt Stafford was the #1 pick that year. Later in that first round, 17th, Josh Freeman was picked. Both those guys have much better career numbers and are having better years this year, meaning they're on an uptrend. Again, we've seen Sanchez, right? He's leveled up. We know what he is now, don't we?
I don't think he's not going to get any better. I mean, the numbers have been pretty consistent and consistently below average. And the thing is, he went to those 2 AFC title games in his first 2 years, or second and third year, first 2 years. So people said, oh, wow, this guy, and he did make some plays in some of those games, but over the long haul, quarterbacks need to play at a certain level. He's not been playing at that level, and I don't know, I think even Jets fans realize now it's not going to change.
Let's talk about bloodline. You're a huge college football fan, and USC quarterbacks. Mark Sanchez is just the latest. Or USC draft picks, guys that were big. I mean, they don't pan out in the NFL on the offensive side of it.
Yeah, offensive players. I mean, let's go back the last big name draft picks they've had: Carson Palmer, Reggie Bush, Mark Sanchez, Matt Leinart, Mike Williams. Don't forget, was supposed to be a can't miss wide receiver. He had 5 touchdown catches in his career. Lindale White was the leading touchdown maker his last year at USC. What happens, I think, Butch? Obviously, a lot of talent goes to that program, but none of it matriculate, not on the offense. A lot of great defenders, but offensively, none of these guys get it done in the NFL. And I think it's a combination of things. One being that USC, being the only major football program in LA with no NFL team, gets too much hype. These players are overhyped. They're not as good as we make them out to be. And we wrote about this one. ESPN named USC in the mid-2000s under Pete Carroll the greatest college dynasty of all time. They weren't even as good as Nebraska 10 years earlier, who won 3 titles in 4 years.
Well, offensive side of the ball with USC, you got to go back to O.J. Simpson and Marcus Allen, maybe Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, really, you got to go back to those guys, too.
Yeah, we're going back a long, long time. We're going back a couple of decades now. And, more importantly, all those busts. I mean, Matt Leinart couldn't get it done. He won the Heisman. Carson Palmer probably could have been a better quarterback, but the injuries have cost him, and we've seen the way he's played in Oakland this year, not an elite quarterback. Definitely for a #1 overall pick, a disappointing career. Reggie Bush was supposed to be the can't-miss kid, remember? He was going to be the greatest thing ever. And, the next Gale Sayers, that hasn't panned out. A nice player.
One more thing about the USC bloodline. Stop me with USC quarterbacks when we get to one who's panned out in the NFL. Sanchez, Leinart, Palmer, Castle, Salisbury, Rob Johnson, Todd Marinovich, John David Booty, Bill Nelson, Pat Hayden.
Pat Hayden was a pretty good quarterback. What was he drafted, 1974? Seriously.
Why, though? Because the running backs are so focused? Because the athletes are so good? Because they get so much hype? Why?
I think, you have a lot of talent around you, so you look good. You see it, too, with, a lot of those Florida quarterbacks that came out for years and never really panned out. They just had superior talent around them and look better. I think that has a lot to do with it. But, at the end of the day, the NFL, NFL people are being paid to analyze and judge talent. And clearly, when it comes to USC, they're overvaluing how well these guys are going to play in the NFL.
Well, let's finish up with the Jets and Sanchez. He's been named the starter again this week. But why? Greg McElroy has the history, has the numbers, and won a game.
I'm not saying Greg McElroy is the answer, but we know Mark Sanchez is not the answer. I say you give the guy a shot. I mean, he came in, led a touchdown drive against the Cardinals, and in the ugliest game of the season, it didn't even look like that wasn't even the SEC title game was 10 times more exciting than this NFL game. And the Jets won 7-6, and McElroy, don't forget, was a great quarterback in college. People think he won't get it done, and thinks he can't get it done in the NFL. People thought that about a lot of guys. Look at Tom Brady. People said, oh, who's this guy? Give the guy a shot. You got 4 games to see what you got in him. Maybe worst case scenario, you can get something, in a trade from McElroy. I say play Greg McElroy.
The numbers back it up. The cold, hard football facts. The Mark Sanchez era in New York should be over. But Jets fans, are we telling you anything you don't know? This is Cold Hard Football Facts on Football Nation.